Hello students, welcome to the class. Let's complete this chapter of work, power, energy and that center of mass of particles. Okay, these two topics. So our topic is collision. This topic was remaining. Let us complete this part. Collision. We were dealing the chapter of work, power, energy, page number 345. Okay, and the topic which we are dealing is collision. Okay, I suggest you to go and sit with the books so we can complete this topic. Okay, in physics the collision means generally you have the idea that, let us say, two particles like these are the two particles. You have the notion that when they come and collide, either one is rest, second is rest, or both of them are moving. When they are physically collide, you have the idea that the particle has been collided. But in physics we have a idea, say one particle is over here, okay, and this particle is just stationary and this particle is moving. It's just a one example, there are many other cases. It's moving due to the presence of this particle. If the trajectory of this one, suppose this one gets deviated just due to the presence of this one, so we say these two particles have collided. Okay, so electrons are of negatively charged, one electron repels the another electron, and you obviously know that this your electrons cannot collide physically, but in physics there are collisions of electrons because one electron repel the other and the effect of one can be felt on the other. This is, in this manner we say that the particles has been collided. So let's come back to our topic. This is was the quick concept what the collision means in physics. Okay, collision between two bodies is said to occur when they either physically strike or if the path of the motion of one is influenced by the other. That is what I have just taught you. So collision are, in physics there are two types of collision. One is elastic and the other is inelastic collision. Keep two things in mind. One is called your momentum and kinetic energy. Okay, so how we categorize? There are two types of collision. Let us deal with the elastic collision. This first one, elastic and inelastic, and there are two types. So in elastic collision, the kinetic energy as well as the momentum of the particles, suppose there are two particles which are colliding, the momentum of these two particles and the kinetic energy of these two particles before collision and after collision should be same. That is called conservation of momentum and conservation of kinetic energy. If the forces of interaction, ऐसा collision कब होगा? If the forces of interaction are conservative. Elastic collision is possible if the forces are conservative. The momentum and kinetic energy remains conserved in the collision. Then it is called elastic. So what are the two things you should keep in mind? One thing is momentum first, and the second thing is kinetic energy. Okay, these two parts, and the force involved will be conservative force. Okay, conservative force. These three things are the example of which kind of collision? Elastic collision. So elastic collision, momentum is conserved, elastic collision, kinetic energy conserved, and the force between the colliding body will be of conservative type. Okay, so this was the quick idea how what is mean by elastic collision. One thing you have to keep in mind, just slightly change. What are the inelastic collision? Inelastic collision, momentum will still be conserved before and after the collision. Suppose momentum of this particle before collision add कर देंगे, after it collides and get separated or stick together, whatever will be the case, then after collision what will be the total momentum? That is called before collision. After collision the momentum of both 1 plus 2, that is this and this added, will be same, but kinetic energy in this case will be changed. So elastic collision, momentum and kinetic energy both are conserved. In elastic collision, momentum is conserved but kinetic energy does not remain conserved. This is the difference between the elastic and inelastic collision. So let's deal with the topic here. First case, you will be seeing that elastic collision in one dimension. What do you mean by the one dimension? The two objects which are going to be colliding, which are going to be strike each other, they are moving in a straight line, not in a plane, but they are moving in a straight line. Okay, this is one dimensional motion when the body moves in a straight line. So obviously when they are moving in a straight line, if the velocity of this is greater than the velocity of this will go and hit this thing. That is what the diagram is suggesting. Okay, let us take a body of mass m1, body A, body B, mass m1, m2, its initial velocity u1, initial velocity u2. When they collide, they will stick to each other. जब collision होगा, they will stick to each other for a very fraction of time. They will stick to each other. Let us say they stick to each other, m1 and m2, and after collision they'll again get separated. Okay, this is they are moving, and during the collision they stick and again they separate. This is what is happening in the collision. So हमने consider किया है this is an elastic collision. Already we have considered that this is an elastic collision. So momentum is conserved, kinetic energy is conserved. Momentum is mass and velocity, mass into velocity, velocity is initial, that is by u. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. v1 is the final velocity after collision. So mass into velocity, that is the initial momentum of 1 and 2, should be equal to the final momentum of 1 and 2. This equation represents that thing. Since all the velocities are in the same direction, why same direction? Because the motion is one dimension. We can write the last equation in terms of the magnitude of u1. Vector wise it is written because everything is in the straight line, so vectors are in the same line. That is why we can write down the magnitude. So vector sign is been removed. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 u2. What you will do? m1 m quantity one side, m2 quantity on the other side. So when you bring this thing, that will be minus m1 v1, m1 will be taken out common, so u1 minus v1. Similarly on the second end, m2 is equals to u2 minus v2. ये तो हो गया first part. Second part is kinetic energy is also conserved. Kinetic energy is half mv square. You got this formula. So from there, initial kinetic energy, initial velocity लेंगे, final kinetic energy will take the final velocity. So half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. Similarly half m1, half is taken out from both side common and it should be cancelled. What is remaining? Same procedure you will do. You will bring the m1 quantities one side, m2 quantities other side. So when you bring this thing, to get this whole thing is nullified because you will take out common and left it out. m1 u1 square, this side minus m1 v1 square, m1 common, so u1 square minus v1 square, m2 square is equal to v. When you will divide this thing, what they are saying, dividing equation 2, this is equation number 2. You divide this equation number 2, by this first equation. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. This side divided by LHS will divide, RHS will divide. So this could be a square minus b square format. This will be u1 plus v1 bracket u1 minus v1 will nullify it from here. What will happen? Let me write down m1. This will be u1 minus v1. So when you expand this thing, u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1 is cancelled. What will be remaining on the bottom? Last time क्या बचेगा? Positive coordinates, positive terms remaining रह जाएंगे. u1 plus v1 is equals to u2 plus v2. अब क्या करेंगे? Initial एक side, final एक side, means u one side, v one side. So u1 minus u2 is equals to v2 minus v1. This is our final result after applying the momentum conservation. After applying momentum conservation, you get equation number 1. After applying kinetic energy conservation, you get equation number 2. And finally, we will reach to this point. What it suggests? u1 minus u2, that means u1 is greater. इनिशियल वेलोसिटी, ये पार्टिकल तेज चल रहा है, ये धीमे चल रहा है, तभी तो जाके टकराएगा उससे. दैट मीन्स u1 इज हायर देन u2. सो आफ्टर दैट व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? v2 माइनस v1, दैट इज v2 इज ग्रेटर देन, बिकॉज साइन यहाँ पे नेगेटिव नहीं आ रहा है ना. सो v2 माइनस v1, दैट मीन्स आफ्टर कोलिजन दिस बॉडी गेन्स स्पीड, दिस बॉडी बिकम स्लो. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. एंड द मोर prominent result which the books talks about, u1 minus u2, that is u1 minus u2 is the relative velocity. The difference of the initial velocities of A and B is the relative velocity of approach. How they are moving with respect to each other, how they are approaching each other. That is the u1 minus u2. And v2 minus v1 is the relative separational velocity. How they are separating from each other. That is v2 minus v1. So your result is this one. v2 can be written out taken as what they are doing. V2 will be what? U1 minus U2 plus V1. U1 minus U2 plus V1. What we are going to find out? We want to find out the final velocity V1 in terms of masses. So what, from this equation, V2 हमें चाहिए, final velocity of this particle. V2 is equals to U1 minus U2 plus V1. Putting this value of V2, this value in equation 1, that means in this equation, you substitute this value of V, whose value? V2. So M1 U1 minus V1 is equals to M2 U2 minus, M2 V2 minus U2. In place of this, you will write down this thing. So same, if you can compare same equation, M1 U1 minus V1 is equals to M2. This equation has been substituted. When you substitute this part, what you will get, I should not dirty the book, what you will get in this equation, you are substituting now M2 V2 minus U2, and in place of V2, just now you have calculated this, what? U1 minus U2, you are getting U1 minus U2 plus V1. So in place of this, you will substitute M2. What you will get? V2, U1 minus U2 plus V1 minus U2. Minus U2 will be 2U1 plus V1 minus 2U2 and M2. This should we get? See, we are getting same thing. M2 U1 plus V1 minus 2U2. Got it? Okay. Now what they have done? They opened the bracket. This side also they opened the bracket, and V1 one side, and rest of the thing, that is, if you see U1 V1 U2, all these things. So what they are doing, V1 they are bringing it one side. Why? Because we want to find the velocity. V1. Okay. So when you rearrange it, you will get V1 is equals to M1 minus M2 upon V1 M1 plus M2 U2. Okay. What is happening in this equation? Before the collision, we know with what velocity our body is moving. Okay. Before the collision से पहले हमें पता था with which velocity A and B are moving. After they collide, we don't know what will be the velocity of A and what will be the velocity of B. So here we are getting V1. V1 means the velocity of A. Okay. And similarly on the next page will be the velocity of 2. You are getting the velocity V1 in terms of mass of A and B and in terms of initial velocity of A and B. See, you are getting the final velocity V1 in terms of mass and initial velocity. Collision से पहले तो हमें पता था ना, we know everything, that we got the data before the collision. What will be the new data in terms of velocity after collision? We got the formula, this. Okay. Similarly, if you check, this is equation 4. Similarly, if you will check here on this page, you are getting V2. So V1 and V2, you are getting the formula. So these two equations, one which I have shown on these two equations, this one and this one equation. Okay. Now you will apply the special cases. What are the special cases? There is one case and second case, and in the second special case we have A, B, C, 3 conditions. So there are 2 cases, 1 and 2. In the second case, again it is subdivided into 3 conditions. So what is the first case? If the masses of the colliding bodies are equal. Why we are talking about masses? Because the final velocity is coming in this M1 and M2 and U1. Initial velocity और mass के terms में हमारी final velocity expressed है. What will happen if M1 and M2 are equal? Let it say M. So when you will substitute it, what will happen? 2M, M plus M2M, this cancelled. So V2 is equals to U1 plus this M is same, 0. So what you will get? V2 is equals to U1 from this equation. V2 is equals to U1. When applying the condition M1 is equals to M2, when you apply this condition here also, this part will become 0, this part will become 1. So V1 is equals to U2. This is what is written over here. V1 is equals to U2 and V2. Kya meaning? V1 is the final velocity of first body and this is equals to the initial velocity of the second body. That means U1 V1, when they collide, suppose this is moving 3 meter per second, this is moving sorry, say this is moving 5 meter per second, this is moving 3 meter per second. Obviously this is going to hit this part. When they collide, this part will start moving with 5 meter and this becomes 3 meter, means they exchange their velocity. This is happening. When this happens, when the mass of both the bodies is equals to same. ये फर्स्ट कंडीशन कब होगी? जब दोनों बॉडी की मास सेम होगा. सेकेंड कंडीशन, मास नहीं सेम है. सेकेंड कंडीशन, इफ द टारगेट बॉडी बी इज इनिशियली एट रेस्ट, मीन्स अभी तो दोनों मूव कर रही थी. सेकेंड केस क्या है? व्हेन दिस द बी बॉडी इज एट रेस्ट एंड द फर्स्ट कम एंड हिट इट, है ना, सड़क पे चलते टाइम कोई खड़ा है, आपने जाके उसको हिट कर दिया. दैट इज द केस. सो दिस बॉडी is at rest and the first who comes and hit this part. Okay, that means the second body, B body, is at rest in the diagram. That means this body is at rest. That means initial velocity is 0. That is u2 is equals to 0 mathematically. So you will take this part, u2 is equals to 0, and this has been taken, u2 is equals to 0. Same, you got this equation number 4 and 5. Substitute the value of u2 0. So you will get v1 is equals to m1 minus m2 अपॉन m1 प्लस m2 इंटू u1 एंड v2 इज इक्वल्स टू. हमारा गोल क्या है? आप एवरी टाइम थिंक अबाउट द गोल. आवर गोल इज टू फाइंड द वेलोसिटी आफ्टर द कोलिजन, दैट इज द फाइनल वेलोसिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ मासेस एंड इन दैट पार्ट वी आर अप्लाइंग द स्पेशल केसेस. तो फर्स्ट सेकेंड स्पेशल केसेस, अगर बॉडी रेस्ट पे है तो ये आपको दो इक्वेशन मिल गई, 6 and 7, दीज टू इक्वेशन. अब इसमें सब कैटेगरी करेंगे. वी आर गोइंग टू डू द सब कैटेगरीज, दैट इज A, B and C. There are two special cases. In the second special case, there are 3 subcategories. Second special case क्या था? If the target body is at rest. पहली सब कैटेगरी क्या है आपकी? फर्स्ट सब कैटेगरी, the two bodies are of equal masses. Okay, रेस्ट पे सेकेंड बॉडी B, u2 is equals to 0 and A is going to hit it with velocity u1. Okay, so first if both the bodies are of same masses. अब इसमें हम सब कैटेगरी क्या कर रहे हैं? बी बेचारा खड़ा था चुपचाप, ए ने आके उसको पीछे से ठोक दिया. ओके, इट कम्स एंड हिट द सेकेंड बॉडी. सो इफ द मासेस आर सेम, दिस पार्ट ऑब्वियसली v1 will become 0 and v2 will become what? Twice of u1. Got it? v1 will become 0 and v2 becomes u1. No, not twice. M plus m, this is 2, sorry, u1. So what will happen when a body suffers one-dimensional elastic collision with another body of the same mass as the rest? Then the first body is stop cold. It means this is happening. See this part. This and this are of same mass. You know that these are the identical. This is a stationary. When it comes and hit, this comes to stop and this start moving with the velocity of this one. This is the first subcategory. Second, the target body B, which is at rest, is much more massive than the colliding body. That means what particle I should take? I think this part. No, this will be very huge. Say this. Okay, this. So the body is at rest and this body which is coming to hit, this is very massive. The one body B is of very large mass and A is of very less mass. It comes and hit. Okay. So m2 is very, very large than m1. So what we will do? m1 will be ignored in the equation. Which equation? Equations 5th, 6th and 7th. In these two equations, you will ignore the mass. What? m1 को ignore कर देंगे. So what you will get? This will be ignored. This will be ignored. What you will get? v1 is equals to minus u1 approximately. v1 is equal to minus u1. And this part, if you ignore m1, what you will get? Again v2, again you will get 0. Okay, v2 will be 0. If you see, v2 will be 0. Why? Applying m2 is very, very large than m1, and when you neglect the m1, it's almost negligible. So what you will get? 0. Why it is coming 0? Because we are considering this almost negligible in compared to the second body is almost 0. So this part is become approximately 0. That means if you see v1, let me take some another objects. What object I can take? We should not obstruct our environment. Okay. This is very massive. u1 0, sorry, u2 0, u1 is coming and hit, m2 m1, this comes and hit after hitting the velocity of this will be called v1, and v1 is coming what, minus u1, अपनी खुद की velocity का opposite, ठीक है. See, that means the body comes and hit and rebounds. This is the second case. The target body which is at rest is much lighter than the colliding body. That means now this time this part is at rest. The target body is at rest and a massive body going to hit this thing. A massive body come and hits this thing. So what we take, m2 is very less than m1. तो neglect कर देंगे. In these two equation you will neglect what? m2 will be neglected. m2 will be neglected. You will get v1 is equals to u1 and v2 is equals to twice of u1. v1, that is final velocity of this body, is u1. It will keep on moving with the same velocity. Okay? And this velocity of the second is twice of v1, double of v1. Okay, if this is coming 5 meter per second and comes and hit, this will start moving 10 meter per second in case of elastic collision. Okay, that is what is going to happen. It's almost 20 minutes past. Let me finish it up, wind up early. Two-dimensional collision is very simple, just the extension. You just have to take the cos components of the velocity. Inelastic collision. When the inelastic collision in one dimension. Inelastic collision, momentum is conserved but kinetic energy does not remain conserved. Okay, got it? In elastic collision, momentum is conserved but the kinetic energy is not conserved. This is the inelastic collision. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to, and one more thing, when inelastic collision happens there is no bouncing back. So if they are moving, this comes, they go, these two body comes to collide. Again and again I'm in the habit of saying hit, I should use the word collide. So this is moving and this comes and collide this part. These two body will become one, they stick to each other. That is the inelastic collision. Perfect inelastic collision, it comes, there will be no bouncing of the bodies, they will stick to each other. That will, they behave as a one mass, so m1 plus m2, and they will move with some velocity. So both the bodies will have the same velocity. Okay, that is why we have m1 u1 plus m2 u2. After collision both the bodies will become one, m1 plus m2, and they will have a common velocity v. Just I have shown you. This is the case of momentum conservation. Conservation of momentum applied किया तो ये मिलता है. Second part, if the masses of the bodies are initial velocity are known, then their common velocity, this is spelling mistake, after the collision can be calculated. If the body m2 is initially at rest, u2 is equals to 0, then the kinetic energy of the system before collision. To make our case simple, what they are taking, if the second body, if the body have mass m2, ये rest पे ले रहे हैं. First part we have taken the momentum conservation. Second part, this body is at rest, this comes and hit, and they start moving with the joint combination. So kinetic energy of the system before collision, भाई second वाली तो rest पे थी, तो जो भी movement है वो first में है, तो kinetic energy किसकी हुई, first की. कितनी होगी, half m1 u1 square, that is the kinetic energy before collision. After collision both the bodies is moving with the velocity v, so half m plus m2, mass same हो गया ना, दोनों का add up हो गया. What velocity, same velocity से move करें तो v square, that is the kinetic energy after collision. So k2 by k1, what you will do, this divided by this thing, divide कर दिया हमने, m1 plus m2 v square m1 u1 square. Since m2 is at rest, so u2 is equals to 0, कोई problem नहीं. So in this case you are applying this first part. ठीक है, हमारा स्पेशल केस क्या था, u2 is equals to 0 when we think about the kinetic energy. तो हमारी जो जनरल इक्वेशन है उसमें u2, this component will become 0 क्योंकि हमारी सेकेंड बॉडी तो रेस्ट पे है, no momentum. तो what you will get, m1 u1 is equals to m1 plus m2 v. Okay, so from here we will calculate v, m1 u1 upon m1 plus m2, and put in this value, v की वैल्यू आप यहाँ सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दोगे, k2 by k1 m1 plus m2, this part will be squared and this thing. Okay, and further when you will reduce, so k2 by k1 is m1 upon m1 plus m2. From equation if you see numerator denominator, okay, this part resembles this, there is a correspondence. If you have remember, we are seeing a fractional relationship or proportional relationship between them things. It is obvious that since m1 is less than m1 plus m2, भाई सिंगल बॉडी का मास दोनों की कंबाइंड बॉडी से तो कम होगा. दैट इज काइनेटिक एनर्जी, दैट इज द सेकेंड आफ्टर कोलिजन काइनेटिक एनर्जी इज लेस देन द इनिशियल काइनेटिक एनर्जी. And this suggests in inelastic collision kinetic energy does not remain the same. Okay, and the final kinetic energy will always be less than the initial kinetic energy. Loss of kinetic energy during inelastic collision, you see this derivation, and it is coming is equals to change. Delta means change is kinetic energy is this. Okay, in the inelastic collision. I hope so. In the elastic collision in 2 dimension, if this body is moving in this one, so in place of taking u1 v1, we'll take v1 cos theta, v2 cos theta everywhere. See, and rest everything will be the same. Only the cos component you will take. So in this manner, our work matter energy chapter has been already completed. And one topic is remaining, that is the center of mass. Okay, the center of mass. So the center of mass. Okay, before we can begin, let me give you a quick idea what a system means. If we place this object, okay, this object consists of large number of particles. Okay, so let us trace the quick. So in this domain, this object is made up of large number of particles. Okay, so this object is nothing but a just collection of huge number of particles. This is a collection of huge number of particles. This collection of huge number of particles. So if we apply force on this thing, it moves. If I crush this thing, that means we are applying force on this system. What the system means in physics, system is anything which is the part of the observation, which is the part of your observation on which you are applying force and you are measuring the displacement and all this thing. So system could be consist of billions and millions of particles, and a small system could be consist of only 2 particles or even single 1 particle. So here what we are going to deal is the system of 2 particles. If you see, if I apply the force, this body, you have the ability to see this thing is moving with certain velocity. Okay, what is actually the collection of billions of small atoms and particles is moving under the influence of this external force. Okay, if this external force under the influence, that means the force applied causing this all system to move with respect to the background, with respect to the force. Okay, in physics we can consider, or it behaves that all the mass which is distributed over this entire body, it could be consist to a one single point, and the motion of this particle will resemble the motion of the whole body. So that supposed particle where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be situated is called center of mass. This is a mathematical creation. We create a center of mass to make our calculations easy or work easy. So what it means, let us say 2 particles, mass m1, m2. So what we will say in physics, it is a system of 2 particles. Okay, if these 2 are moving, then we can consider join these 2 particles, position vector of this r1, position vector of second is r2. Okay, either you consider the motion of these 2 separately, or you can consider a particle which may be situated in the line joining m1 and m2 in a 2 particle system, such that this will behave as m1 plus m2 is situated over here, that is mass of both is situated over here, and its position vector will be rcm, that is the position vector of center of mass, and this is what is given in the graph. So we will start as why we are so much interested into finding the position vector. This chapter is about finding the position vector of the center of mass. Why we are so much interested in that? Because instead of dealing 1 million particles of a body, it is very easy to deal 1 particle which behaves that the entire mass is equals to the mass of the whole body. Okay, that will make our job very less tedious and very simple. So this topic is about to sorry. Okay, the camera has been shifted. This topic is about to find this RCM. Let be the body A, body B, mass m1, mass m2 with respect to origin, position vector r1, position vector r2, and let C be the center of mass. Let है, अभी माना नहीं है. Let at this point m1 plus m2, that is whole mass is at C, and its position vector is RCM. We want to find the RCM in terms of mass and r1 and r2. Directly I'll give you the formula. Then I'll explain how you get this formula by using the Newton's second law of motion. So RCM, that is the position vector of the center of mass for two body system or two particle system, is equals to C, m1 plus m1 r1 plus vector form m2 r2. Two vectors are adding, then the resultant quantity is again vector divided by scalar, again the resultant will be vector. So this RHS is a vector representing the center of mass. How you are getting this equation? Okay, we have to find it out. We want to find the center of mass. These two particle system, let me make a fresh diagram. These two particle system A and B, let the force activate on this one be F1 and the force on this be F2, external force. And since these two are of one system, these two particles are of one system, they may be colliding with each other. So B is applying force on one, that is body 1 and body 2. Force on 1 due to 2, that will be F12. And the force on 2 due to 1, that is F21. They are applying force on each other, and since this is an internal force, that means F12 is equals to minus of F21 by the Newton's third law, equal reaction and action pair, or internal forces are always reaction and action pair. That means F12 plus F2, sorry about the writing, I'm trying to complete this chapter within 30 minutes mark time. Oh, it's already above 30 minutes. I'll complete in 35 minutes, no problem. Is equals to 0. What? So the total force F जो बन रहा है हमारा, total force is what? Total force is F1, which is external, plus F12. The force on the first body A is what? Force which is applying on it from outside, and the force which is being applied from the inside, F12. So this is the total force on the body A1. Similarly, force on second F2 is equals to what? I should not write down F1 F2 over here. This I should write down total. Let me make it clear. F on the second body is F2 plus F21. How to read the vector, I have already taught this thing, and this is what is written over here, all that thing. Okay, no problem. Let V1 be and V2 be the instantaneous velocity of mass m1 and m2. Let V1 and V2 be the instantaneous velocity. Body A, it's moving with velocity V1. Body B, it's also moving with velocity V2. Okay, and the force on this body is F1 plus F12. This is the total force on this. By the Newton's second law, it says F is equals to ma. You know that thing. And by differential application, we can say acceleration is change in velocity upon change in time. Got it? One more thing you can do. Velocity is what? Change of displacement. Force is equals to mass d by dt of velocity is what? dr by dt, change of position. So force could also be written as m d2 by dt square, double differentiation of r. Got it? This is we are going to apply in the equation. So let's come back to our original equation. Mass m2 moving with velocity v2, force on the mass m2 is f2 plus f21. Similarly, first body mass m1 moving with velocity v1, and the force on first is f1 plus f12. Okay, you have to follow it in the book, please. If you have not, pause the video and see it again and again. Now what we are going to apply, see, d by dt of m1 v1. Why they are doing m1 v1? Because one more thing, they are doing m1v1 because force is equals to dp by dt. This is Newton's second law. Force is equals to rate of change of linear momentum, and F is equals to d by dt of mv. Okay, just I have written it previously. I have shown you here. See, force equals to ma I have written. Okay, force equals to fa I have written. This equation is we are getting from here. From here, rate of change of momentum, you apply this thing, double differentiation, that will become, this thing goes in the bracket side, dv by dt is what? F is equals to ma. Backward जाओ या forward चलो, बात तो same होगी. So this equation they are using. See over here, d by dt of, that is they are applying, reverse में लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, d by dt of p. p की जगह क्या आ जाएगा? मोमेंटम, that is m1 v1 वेलोसिटी, और ये किसके इक्वल होगा? फोर्स के इक्वल, दैट इज इक्वल टू द फोर्स F1 प्लस F12. Rate of change of momentum of first body is equals to the force applied on the first body. Similarly they are doing second part. Rate of change of momentum of second body is equals to the force on the second body. Force on second body is what? External force F2 plus internal force F21. Both side you will add it, this thing, what you will get? This प्लस दिस डी बाई डी टी ऑफ m1 v1 डी बाई डी टी ऑफ m2 v2 इज इक्वल टू f12. यहाँ जब ऐड करेंगे तो f1 एक ब्रैकेट में, f12 प्लस f21 एक साथ कर दिया. दिस इज इंटरनल फोर्स, दिस विल बिकम जीरो बिकॉज इट इज एन इंटरनल फोर्स. एक्शन रिएक्शन फोर्सेस हैं. एंड लेट अस से f1 प्लस 2, दिस इज द नेट एक्सटर्नल फोर्स. इफ यू रिमेंबर, दिस इज द नेट एक्सटर्नल फोर्स. आई हैव शोन यू द डायग्राम वेयर आई हैव शोन द डायग्राम. लेट मी सी दिस two forces I have taken external. So F1 plus F2 is the total net external force. So they have written is, तो LHS is becoming, अब इसको क्या कर दिया, इस साइड को यहाँ फ्लिप कर दिया, उसको साइड लिख दिया. तो F1 plus F2 is F external is equals to d by dt of m1 v1 plus d by dt of m2 v2. d by dt could be taken as common. Operational distributive होता है differentiation over addition, that is why it could be taken out common ले लिया. d by dt of m1 v1 plus m2 v2. v1 को क्या लिख सकते हैं? d of r1 upon dt, d of r2 upon d2, d r1 upon dt, d r2 upon d2. अगेन d by dt कॉमन चले जाएगा तो d square by dt square, m1 r1 plus m2 r2. This part is now very interesting. What is going to happen? F external, you are getting what? M r1 and n r2 is this part. Forget about this, what is written over here. यहाँ से तो follow कर रहे हैं आप F external और d2 square by dt square m r1 plus m r2. Denominator भी भूल जाइए अभी कुछ देर. Same equation है these two. What we are doing? We are multiplying and dividing this equation by m1 plus m2. m1 plus m2 से डिवाइड किया, m1 plus m2 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. So they should get cancelled, no effect on the equation, but it's a very important thing is happening, and I'll explain what is happening over here. Let me write down this part. F external is equals to m1 plus m2. The table is shaking, that is why my writing is. So d square upon dt square m1 r1 plus m2 r2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, we have multiplied this equation we have multiplied it by m1 plus m2. If you remember, if you compare this part with the F is equals to ma, and in place of acceleration, you know what you have written. In place of acceleration is equals to dv by dt, and in place of velocity, also I write down directly d2 by dt square of r is acceleration. Means one time when you differentiate position, rate of change of position is velocity, rate of change of velocity is acceleration. Okay, so what we see over here, F external is the total force on the system, n is equals to m1 plus m2, that is the total mass of the system, and double differentiation dt square. This side was position vector, this whole thing is position vector. If this equation is representing the total mass, then this position vector, let it say rcm, that means whatever point this vector is showing, at that point the total mass is concentrated. That is why we have saying RCM is representing M1 R1 plus M2 R2 M2 R2 upon M1 plus M2. This whole thing is behaving as the entire mass M1 plus M2 is situated over here. See, okay, let us put, they are doing by letting it us, but I am teaching you on the basis of equation that the entire mass is behaving as this point. This point is collecting the whole mass, so this point is behaving as the system center of mass. So in this manner we have derived that equation which we have seen on the front page. This, so derivation, result, and we have dealt with the 2 particle system. We can extend this result to n particle system. This is all about the center of mass. So in this manner our syllabus is complete. These 2 topics were remaining and we have seen these 2 topics. Okay, thank you.